Right. Those who join online, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay. Right. So we will start today's discussion. So last week we started this discussion on divisional performance and transfer pricing part. There first we discuss about different responsibility centers, right? So you should be able to distinguish the cost center, revenue center, profit center, and investment center. Cost center, the managers of cost center responsible only for the cost related item. Revenue center, they are responsible only for the revenue related item. The profit center managers responsible for both revenue and cost, so the profit. Investment center managers are responsible for not only profit but for the investment as well, the asset invested. So we discuss different performance measurements in different cost centers, different responsibility centers. Cost center, basically the cost related measurement. Revenue center, basically revenue. The profit centers, we can use the gross profit margin, operating profit margin, net profit margin. And you can consider these profit margins are controllable profit margins. Then investment center, we can use the return on investment, residual income, and economic value added. So we discuss how to calculate residual income, then return on ROI, return on investment, and the residual income and the economic value added. Right. So then we had some activities of calculating this. Then we move to the transfer pricing. When goods are transferred within organization, one division to another division, we have to use a transfer pricing. If you don't use the transfer pricing, the transferring division managers may be demotivated because their contribution, value addition is not recognized. So we discussed that there's a need for transfer pricing. One is you for the control purpose, you need the information, right? So how much value created by each division, and you have to measure the performance of each division. You need to use the transfer price. Then you want to motivate managers. For that, we have to use the transfer price. So when a transfer price is set, if there is a external market for the supplying division intermediate product, that should take into consideration. On the other hand, if there is an alternative supplier that receiving division can buy this intermediate product, then that price also should take into consideration. So typically the transfer price should set a price between these two, right? The price that supplying division can sell this for the external market, as well as the alternative purchase price for the receiving division. So then when we set a transfer price, we can use cost-based measurement. The cost-based measurement can be full cost or marginal cost. If the fixed cost also become relevant cost, then you can go ahead with the full cost. Otherwise, if the fixed cost is not relevant, right, there is no incremental fixed cost by supplying product to the other division, then you go ahead with the marginal cost. So this one we discuss, right? Then the other one is a market-based approach where you consider the market price. I think we work out the activity 4, no? Last week. That is the last activity we discussed. Is that right? So up to this point, we discussed in the last week, right? Activity 4 අපි කතා කරා නේද? Right? මට මතකයි මේ කතා කරා වගේ. Right? Right. Then we can consider the opportunity cost when you set the transfer price, especially when the transferring division or the selling division at the moment using the full capacity, or where they are using some kind of product. Limiting factor for this intermediate product that you transfer to the other division. In that case, when you are transferring intermediate product to another division, you have to consider the marginal cost that you have to incur, additional incremental cost, plus any opportunity cost of the resources used. So if the external market exit for an intermediate product, opportunity cost is the contribution lost from external sales foregone. Now, for an example, you can produce a product with the incremental cost of 100 rupee, right? The same product you can sold to the external customer for 150, right? That means there's a 50 contribution if you are selling this to external customer. So then you are transferring this to the internal division. Your transfer price should be marginal cost is 100 plus the opportunity cost, the contribution that we are losing 50. So you can set the transfer price also as 150. If no external market for the intermediate product, the opportunity cost may be 0, or the opportunity lost by not using resources for alternative products sometimes. The same material you can use for some other product, right? So then there will be a loss of contribution when you are producing this particular intermediate product. So that you have to take into consideration. Right. Even this activity we work out, no? Activity 5 is polymer, synthetic polymer, right? Okay. So this is where you were given several scenarios where the products are transferred from one division to another division. So you ask from the company perspective, what is the best price? Then practically, in order to maintain the goal congruence between the divisions, right? Transfer price should be set by the negotiation between selling division and the receiving division. So this allows divisional managers to understand each other's problem and come up with the agreement without head office intervention. So transfer price will be finalized for a mixture of accounting information, politics, and the compromise. Divisional disputes may have been resolved via head office intervention. So basically, you negotiate the buying division and selling division, ultimately set a transfer price, which can be agreed by both selling division and buying division. If there is any kind of conflict among the division, the head office can involve, right? Okay. So we'll attempt to this activity. The transfer pricing system operated by a divisional company has a potential to make a significant contribution towards the achievement of financial objectives. Explain the potential benefit of operating transfer pricing system within a divisional company. That's a theoretical part. Explain the potential benefits of operating transfer pricing system within a divisional company, right? So we'll take them secondly. So I'll first attend for the activity where that you are given some information to calculate. Company operate two divisions. Two divisions I take A and B. A manufacture two products, X and Y. Product X is sold to external customers for $42 per unit. The only outlet for the product Y is the B, right? Two division A and B. A manufacture two products, X and Y. X you can sell for external customers for 42. But Y you have to sell only to the B baker. The B supplies an external market can obtain semi-finished product. Semi-finished supplies the product Y from either A or external sources. Now A can buy it from even external sources. The B currently has opportunity to purchase product Y from external suppliers for 38. Capacity of division A is measured in units of output, irrespective of whether X, Y, or combination both being manufactured. That means the resources are compatible. You can use either X or Y. The associated cost is given variable cost of X 32, fixed overhead cost 5, total cost 37. Y variable cost 35, fixed cost 5. Using the above information, provide the advice on determination of appropriate transfer price for the sale of product Y from division A to B under following circumstances. When division A has spare capacity and limited external demand for product X. Now, first of all, I should be clear about the scenario. right? We have two divisions, no, A and B. Right? One division A, other division B. Two divisions within one entity, A and B. Then the A produce two products, X and Y. When it's come to X, there's an external market for X. In the external market, you can sell it for it has an external customer 42. Right? In the external market, you can sell these for 42. The variable cost of X, 32. X के variable cost එකක් තියෙනවා 32. And you can sell the X to B as well. And Y, the only you can sell it for B. There is no external market for Y. But we can buy Y from externally. From external supplier, we can buy Y at 38. Y variable cost is 35. Right? Variable cost of Y 35. This is the scenario. A produced two products X and Y, both transferred to division B. X has an external sales price 42 with the variable cost 32. Y the variable cost 35. We can buy Y from outside at 38. Now this is the scenario. Right? This is the scenario. So
Sir,
yeah.
so you are writing anything on the board, the whiteboard?
Yes, whiteboard is in the chat with you.
Seems to be, sir, we can't see. I mean, whichever you are writing.
Not the whiteboard, screen board. I'm using this this whiteboard in the.
Yes, sir, the Microsoft whiteboard, we can't see whichever you are writing.
Second. Okay, we'll take it here. This is the sum now. Right. So basically, now you have the division A. And division B. So division A, can transfer their product So division A produced two products. One is X. X selling price 42. You can sell for external, where the variable cost is 35. Selling price 42, where the variable cost 35. You can sell to external customers. Or you can sell the same internally to the other division, where the transfer price we should decide. Right. Then you have another product Y. Why there is no external market? Why? Transfer price, we don't know. That is what we should decide. The variable cost, sorry, X32, Y35. X variable cost 32, Y35. But you can buy Y. We can buy at a variable cost, or you can buy it at a price. Let's say purchase price 35. This is the scenario. Now you are asked to decide the transfer price of product X and Y. In this situation, right? Here you have external customer. So you can sell this for external customer. As well as they can buy it from, we can buy it from external supplier. This is the situation. This is the scenario. Now, in this scenario, now you are asked to determine the transfer price for X and Y. Transfer price for X and Y. And X and Y can produce interchangeably. The capacity is designed combination of X and Y. That means the resources used for production of X and Y interchangeable. You can either produce X or Y. Right? That is the situation. Right? Now, in this scenario, in the transfer price, it is very important you can do a diagram like this, right? So that will make it easy to analyze the given scenario, right? So normally you will be given the information as a paragraph, but you can draw like this diagram, right? So then it's very clear. A has two products, X and Y. X has external market. You can sell it for 42, where the selling price, purchase price, wait a minute. You can buy it externally for 38. Ne? Yeah, this is 38. External purchase price is 38. I use the same. Can sell it externally 42. X can sold outside 32. Purchase for 38. Variable cost 32 and 35. Okay. Variable cost X 32, Y 35. Right? This is the scenario. Made it correct. So that the company has two divisions, A and B. Produce two products, A variable cost 32, B variable cost 35. A can sold to external customer for 42. Right? Yes, 32. You can sold it for 42. Why? Variable cost 35. We can buy Y from outside. PP means the purchase price for 38. Now, what the question asks? What should be the appropriate transfer price for product when divisional A has spare capacity? Right. Using the above information, provide the advice the determination of appropriate transfer price for the sales of product Y. Okay. You are asking the transfer price for product Y. We'll consider X also, right? But basically the question asks Y. Right. So you are asked to calculate the transfer price for product Y. Under one of these two scenarios. When division A has spare capacity and limited external demand for product X, have spare capacity and the limited demand for the external customers. That means this external customer selling price should not take into consideration when you are setting the price. Why? That they have spare capacity, right? So even you have external customers, you can produce Y and sell them, and limited demand, right? Not very much. So whatever the external customer asks, you can produce it for 42, for variable cost 32 and sell it for 42. That is okay. Then in this scenario, in determining the transfer price, now you should cover the variable cost 35. So the minimum transfer price should be 35. The maximum transfer price Y is willing to pay, the B is willing to pay, would be 38. Because they can buy it from outside. So your transfer price should set in between 35 to 38. Is that clear? right? So you can ignore about the external selling price. So because it has a limited external demand and spare capacity, you can provide for those limited external demand. So mainly you are providing it to your other division, division B. So your variable cost is 35. You should be able to cover the variable cost. And you can keep a margin, but that margin should not exceed 38, right? Because we can buy from external supplier 38. So here you see that division A has spare capacity and the limited external demand. In this situation, incremental cost is 35, but B, they can buy it for 38. So the external market, so the cheaper 3 by buying from the division A, right? So the transfer price should be in between 35 to 38. Outside you can purchase for 38. No? If you set a transfer price for 37, B will buy it because it is 1 rupee less. And A also getting 2 rupee contribution above the variable cost. Now we look at the second scenario. When division A is operating full capacity with unsatisfied external demand for product X. Now that situation, whatever the number of units you produce of X, you can sell for external customers. For external customers, your variable cost 32, selling price 42 means you have a contribution of 10. But the maximum contribution you can obtain by selling that to division B is 3. Why? This is a product Y, right? You can use the resources that we are using to produce product Y to produce product X, right? So if we are assuming the same amount of resources we are using to produce 1 unit of product X and 1 unit of product Y, producing 1 unit of product Y and sell it into B, you are losing a contribution of 10, right? Because you can produce X and sell for 42 outside, where the variable cost is 32. There's a 10 contribution you are giving up to produce 1 unit of Y. But the maximum contribution you can earn by selling Y to B is only 3. Because you can't set a purchase price above 38. Right? Then Y won't purchase it. So in this scenario, you should not go ahead with producing Y and transfer it into B. Instead, you can produce X and sell it to the A can produce X and sell for external customers. There is unsatisfied demand, right? At the moment, you are operating full capacity. So you can't accept any production for the B and ask B to buy it from outside. So which is more benefit to the firm. Got it? Right. So we can make it more understandable if I add some production level, right? And adjust this with numbers, right? I'm taking the 2 scenarios same, right? But I'll make some additional adjustment for A. Prior to that, full capacity of division A is 1000 units and currently producing 500 X and 500 Y. Total profit of division A at current production. Total profit of division A, or the maximum profit, if there is only limited demand for X from external customers. Limited demand for X from external customers and extra capacity available. Right. Maximum profit of division if there is unsatisfied demand for X from external customers and operate at full capacity. Right. මේ අර තියෙන question එකම තමයි මම පොඩ්ඩක් ඒක modify කරා. Right. Figures දාලා. එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මේක තේරුම් ගන්න පුළුවන්. Right. exam එකට ආවොත් හුඟක් වෙලාවට එන්නේ මේ model එකේ. Right. ඕන මේකට මම අර information ටිකක් ගේන්නම්. X ගේ ගත්තොත් because that the balance is in the other slide, no? Right. So I'm taking it X variable cost 32, fixed cost per unit 5, selling price to external customer 42. Y variable cost 35, fixed cost 5. Purchase price from external supplier 38. Right? ඔය සිනාරියෝ එක තමයි ඔය තොරතුරු ටික තමයි දැන්ට දීලා තියෙන්නේ. එතකොට දැන් per unit cost එක fixed cost එක unit ගාණෙන් වැඩි කරලා ඔයාලා total fixed cost එක හොයාගන්න. Right? දැන්ට හදාන්නේ 500 500 ගාණ කියනවා. Right? Can you calculate the total profit of division A at current production? මේ ටික කලින් තොරතුරු වල තියෙනවා, right? Just you can work out now with this slide. Can you find the answer for A? Very simple. The current production, the total capacity of 8,000, right? And currently producing 500, 500. current production X 500 now. Right, අපි the මෙතනත් ගමු current production එකේ total profit මෙතනත් බලන්නේ maximum profit එක, right? Total ඔන්න මෙතනත් ගන්න පුළුවන් maximum profit. එහෙනම් අපිට වඩා වාසිදායක තත්ත්වෙන්නේ බලන්නේ firm division එක profit maximize කරන්න නම්, so they can sell these 500x to external customers, no? Right? 42. So you can right. So I'm taking A. At current production. Current production එකේ X ගත්තොත් අපිට ගන්න පුළුවන් sales revenue from X. X के sales revenue එක කීයද? මේක එක එක විදිහට පෙන්නන්න පුළුවන්. මම total එක පෙන්නනවා, right? 500 into 42. Right? 500 into 42. You can have a sales revenue of 2,100. Sales revenue from Y. What is the maximum price you can charge for Y? Y के maximum price से क्या charge करना पड़ेगा? Yes, 38. Right? And आप इधर वो याला maximum charge करना पड़ेगा 38 ने. Sales revenue from Y should be 500 into 38. Right? එහෙනම් ඔක්කොම total sales revenue මේක මේ format එකට නෙමෙයි, ඔයාලට මේක වෙනම profit එක හොයන්න පුළුවන්, right? මම මේ එක approach එකක් පෙන්නන්න යන්නේ, right? Current production total sales revenue එක තියෙනවා 400. ඔය විදිහට variable cost එක අපිට ගන්න පුළුවන්. Variable cost. X के variable cost එක 32යි. Y के variable cost එක 35යි නේ. Right? ඔන්න මම total sales revenue එක මේ column එකේ පෙන්නන්නේ. Then the total variable cost 33. දැන් මෙතන අපිට එනවා total contribution. Total fixed cost. Fixed cost එක product එක X හැදුවත් Y හැදුවත් රුපියල් 5යි. ඈ ඕනනම් 5 into 1000 ගන්න පුළුවන්. නැත්නම් 5 into 500 5 into 500. right? X වලින් 500යි 5යි Y වලින් 500යි 5යි. එහෙම නැත්නම් 5 into 1000. කොහොම ගත්තත් fixed cost එක එන්නේ 5000යි. That clear? For the product දෙකේම variable fixed cost per unit is දීලා තියෙනවා. Fixed cost per unit 5. 5 into 500 5 into 500 කියලා ගත්තත් 5000යි 2500 2500. එහෙම නැත්නම් whether X or Y fixed cost per unit 5. So total number of unit 1000. So 5 into 1000 5000. Right? ඕනනම් මම මේක සමාන නිසානේ අපිට මේ විදිහට ගන්න ඕනේ. මේ දෙක වෙනස් වුණා නම් ඔයාලට ගන්න වෙන්නේ මේ විදිහට 5 into 500 plus 5 into 500. මම ඒ විදිහටම පෙන්නන්නම්. මොකද මේ දෙක අසමාන වුණා නම් එකකට 5යි අනිත් එකට 6යි වුණා නම් right? එතකොට 5 into 500 6 into 500 ඒ වගේනේ ගන්න වෙන්නේ. Here whatever it is tally. So we can have the total profit. The maximum profit. At current production කියන එක මම CP කියලා දැම්ම කෙටියේ. Right? Maximum profit at current production. $1,500. Clear? Right. ඊළඟ එකේ spare capacity තියෙන නිසා if only limited demand for X from external customers and extra capacity available එහෙනම් current production එකේ X එක අපි අඩු කරන්න වෙනවා. right? මොකද දැන් 500 500 ගත්ත full capacity නේ. මම මෙතන දානවා current production of X is 400 only. Right? There my information එක tally වෙන්නේ right? Current production එක 400 only. So Y 500. Now 400 only and Y is 500. එහෙනම් 900යි හදන්න. තව 100ක extra capacity එකක් තියෙනවා. X ඒක හදන්න පුළුවන්. right? External demand එක 100ක් නැහැ. එච්චරයි කතරම. right? We have a limited demand. Extra capacity 100 is there. right? So X ආවොත් outside වලට ඔක දෙන්න පුළුවන්. right? Limited demand එක කියන්නේ maximum capacity එක තියෙන 100යි. එතකොට අපි හිතමු right? Limited demand. දැන් එහෙනම් කොහොමද profit එක හොයන්නේ? Now what is the product mix? දැන් X 400 ම දෙන්න වෙනවා Y beta. ඉතුරු 100 අපි හිතමු maximum demand එක ආවොත් ඉතුරු 100 external අයට දෙන්න පුළුවන්. right? 900 යන්නේ තියෙන්නේ. high full capacity. We are producing at the moment 400. The balance 100, right? That is limited demand. So the maximum demand is 100, right? Assuming maximum 100 here. So you can have the 100 into 42, but 400 into 38. And why you have to sell for? Why you have to produce 400 fully, right? 500 fully to the external, right? So under B, scenario B, with limited external demand for X and extra capacity, right? ඔය තත්ත්වයටදී අපි හිතනවා right X के sales revenue එක වෙන්න ඕනේ. You can sell maximum 100 for 42. External demand only. You are at the moment producing 900, only 400 X, right? ඒක දෙන්නේ white, right? Externally, you have spare capacity, limited demand, right? ඒක maximum අපිට 100ක් දෙන්න පුළුවන්. 100 42. 400 you can sell for 38. To B. Is that clear? Right? So the revenue should be 100 into 42 plus 400 into 38. Y के වෙනසක් නැහැ. Yes. Here we assume we sell the maximum extra capacity to external customers. So maximum revenue you can generate from external customers is 100 into 42. Right? And we make adjustment here, no? Current production of these 400 and මේක තවත් clear වෙන්න දාමු and sell to B, right? Right? 400 හදලා B ට දෙනවා. Right? Spare capacity එකක් තියෙනවා. Limited demand. So if you maximum utilize that spare capacity, that will leads to this revenue. එතකොට total sales revenue එක 38,000. මේවා වෙනස් වෙන්නේ නැහැනේ. Variable cost එක වෙනස් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. මේ limited demand එක දීලා මෙයාලා කොහොමත් ඉතිරි ටික 400ම extra විකුණන්න වෙනවා. B ට විකුණන්න වෙනවා. දැන් මේ සිනාරියෝ එකේ ඒගොල්ලන්ට loss එකක් එන්නේ. right? loss එකක් ආවේ. මම මේකේ loss එකයි මම capacity එක 1000යි ගත්තේ. right? පොඩි ඉලක්කමක් දැම්මා. මේ විතර ලොකු ගාණක් දැම්ම නම් මේක profit වෙනවා. right? මම ගත්තේ 1000ක් අරගෙන 500 right? මේක 10000ක් වේ ගත්තා නම් fixed cost එක ලොකුට වෙනස් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. එතකොට අපිට profit එනවා. right? right. maximum profit එක එන්නේ මේකේ negative. profit ගන්න බෑ. තුන්වෙනි scenario එක with unsatisfied external demand for X and full capacity. If that is the scenario, then what you should do? You should utilize, you have to sell entire 1000 unit. You can produce entire 1000 unit from product X because which generate higher contribution. X ම තමයි අපිට හදන්න වෙන්නේ 42 into 1000. And why no production? Because why the division B, we can ask division B to buy from externally. Because which is now producing this is more profitable now. The total sales revenue now become 42,000. Variable cost of X. Now you are producing entire 1000 from X. So 1000 into 32. 32,000. Why 0? Why hadanne? The total variable cost is 32,000. So total contribution 10,000. The fixed cost එක බලන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් අපි X වල unit එකක fixed cost එක කොහොමත් unit එකකට 5යි into 1000. 5,000. So we have a profit. As scenario C එක තමයි business එකට profitable වෙන්නේ. Division එක. Right? ඉතින් මේක තව expand කරන්න පුළුවන් by giving you the product, the buying division B එකේ external selling price එකයි. Right? You can give the division B external selling price and the sales capacity. Okay, any question? So we will use the same information and I will add the demand for division Y and the finished good. Right? So then we can look at the entire firm perspective. Method value division X again. Right? Company එකේ profit එක බලන්න පුළුවන් අපිට. Right? The division A වල මේ value. Division A by producing product X and Y. Right? So we'll take the the division B as well, right? Okay, right. Duplicate this one. This is activity 6. Now I will take this as activity 7. Consider all information in activity 6. අපි හිතමු මේ දැන් x සහ y දෙකම further process කරලා B එළියට විකුණනවා කියන්නේ. Right. X is an intermediate product. Right, you can sell to external customers as well as B. දැන් මෙතන X ගේ division එක පැත්තෙන් අපි බැලුවේ. දැන් situation එක මම වෙනස් කරනවා. Right, මම ගන්නවා both අපි හිතමු X is further process by B with variable cost of 10 and selling price is selling price to external customers is then ඒගොල්ලෝ this X ගන්න පුළුවන්නේ මේගොල්ලන්ගෙන් ලැබෙන ගානට අරගෙන right further process කරලා external customers වලට විකුණනවා කියලා අපි ගමු 10ක් යනවා මෙතන 32යි 10යි 42යි එයා විකුණනවා 60කට 60 මේක 38යිනේ ඒක තමු 65යි කියන්නේ right B ගේ demand එක unit 1000ක් විකුණන්න පුළුවන් ඒ X and Y interchange කරලා 1000ක් විකුණන්න පුළුවන් right maximum demand නැත්නම් අපි මේක දාමු there is unsatisfied demand unsatisfied ගත්තොත් අර එළියෙන් ගන්න එකත් එක්ක මොනවා වෙනවා right will take it maximum right B ගේ maximum demand එක 1000. ඒතර ඒ 1000 කැමති විදිහට දෙන්න පුළුවන් right XY right දැන් මේකෙදි අපිට පුළුවන්නේ current production එක full capacity of the division A 1000 and currently produce 500x 500y right මම මේක ගන්නවා දැන් මේක අපිට මෙච්චර දීර්ඝව හදන්න ඕනෙත් නැහැ at current production දැන් මම හොයනවා මේක A ගේ සහ division A B and company right ඔය තුනම division A B company right division A ගේ revenue එක එනවා right A current එකේදී එළියට විකුණනවා 42ට 500ක් B විකුණනවා මේ 500ම further process කරලා 60කට හරි 500 into 60 B ගේ selling price එක 60 right so the company revenue 51000 is that clear මේ දැන් ලියා ගන්න එපා just follow it right I will give you the time why you can sell for 38 right 38 වලට 500ක් ගන්නවා මේ y ගේ 500 further process කරලා 65 external price විකුණනවා so by the B total revenue එක එනවා එහෙනම් 102 right S ගේ variable cost එක 32යි y ගේ cost එක කීයද A ගේ cost එක 32 y ට මේක cost වෙනවා y ගේ performance evaluation වලදී බලද්දී y ට බලන්න වෙනවා right y ට ඔක හම්බෙන්නේ කීයටද මෙතනදී පළවෙනි සිනාරියෝ එක ඔව් මෙතන අපි ගත්තේ 42කට එළියට විකුණනවා කියලානේ එහෙනම් further process කරන්න හම්බෙන්නේ නැහැ මෙයාට right got the point sales revenue ඒ කියන්නේ at current production x 500 හදලා එළියට දෙනවා කියලා අපි මේ ගත්තේ right x එළියට දෙනවා නම් මේ 500 වල further process කරන්න වෙන්නේ නැහැ y ගේ ටික තමයි further process කරන්න වෙන්නේ හරිනේ because now you are selling it for 42 මේ scenario එකට ගියොත් දැන් අපි තීරණය කරන්න ඕන what is the best for the company in this scenario right earlier we look at from the x perspective x can sell it to 42 externally right Now, maximum profit of division A නෙමෙයි මම බලන්නේ maximum profit of company කියලා ගන්නවා මේක, right? Company. Maximum profit of company. Company ගේ profit එක maximize කරන්න යන්නේ. Right? Now, if you are planning to maximize the company profit, now earlier from the division perspective, the product X500, A should sell to an external because their variable cost 32, they can sell it for externally 42. හැබැයි දැන් මේක 42 වලටම external දෙන්නේ නැතුව internally දුන්නොත්, right? External දෙන්නොත් 42 දෙන්නේ. Internally 42 වලටම දුන්නොත් they will add another 10 rupee that become 52. They will further process and sell. එහෙනම් මේක further process කරන්න පුළුවන්. Yes. Right? Because now earlier we consider this 42 rupee we are selling to external X. Right? But here දැන් ප්‍රශ්නයක් එනවා පොඩකින්. X externally දෙනවට වඩා X මෙයාට දීලා 42 වලට now 42 වලට දුන්නොත් අරයාගේ selling price එක දැන් මේක තව add වෙනවනේ. We can sell X externally දැන් මේක මම තව add කරා. You can sell this externally X selling price එක 60. මෙතන extra variable cost එකක් එනවා. B ගේ variable cost එකක් තියෙනවා කීයද? 10. Right? 10 variable cost. 10 අරගෙන තමයි එළියට විකුණන්නේ 60ට. The new scenario, right? Then Y variable cost 10. You can sell for externally 65. Right? Right. එතකොට දැන් කොහොමත් මේක externally Y ගේ capacity එක 1000යි. Right? So now you have to decide the 500 produced by A product X, whether they should sell it external customer or whether they should sell it to B from the company's perspective. B has the option buy Y for 38, spend 10, 48, can sell it for 65. If you buy it from external customer, right? Maximum price they are willing to pay 38. 38. And if they produce X, their selling price is 60. Got my point? So according to this scenario, what would be the best option for Y? For the company perspective, now the demand is they produce X500, A produce X500 quantity, Y500 quantity. Now that is given to you, right? Quantity 500. Now you should decide from company perspective what is more profitable regarding this 500 unit of X. Because Y has no alternative. Y anyway you have transferred to the division B because there is no external market for Y. Right? So no option for Y. Got it? Now what is your decision about this 500 unit of X produced by division A to maximize the profit of company? What they should do? They should sell it for external customer or transfer it to B. You got my question? Right? Resources are interchangeable. So the resources used to produce 1 unit of X, you can use to produce 1 unit of Y. Y has section B has a demand of 1000, either X or Y. Maximum 1000 they can produce. So whatever the unit they can produce, they can sell. Their maximum capacity is 1000. Now, when you are going to look at from the company perspective, what would be the action taken by division A? මේ division A එකේ profit එක maximize කිරීම සම්බන්ධයෙන් නෙමෙයි අපි කතා කරන්නේ. Right? Company එකේ profit එක maximize කරන්න අපි plan කරනවා. So what should be the action that company should take? Ask X to sell this outside or ask buy to purchase from X. මෙතන ideal scenario එක තමයි Aට කියන්න ඕනේ මේ 500 එළියට විකුණන්න කියලා. They will get a contribution of 10. Then Y 500 purchase from B by the same price, and they can purchase balance 500 also from external for 38 and further process for 10, and they can sell at a higher price 65. So the company contribution will increase. Got the point? So even though division A produce 500X and 500Y, division B will produce 1000Y. 500 purchase from X at 38. Balance 500 you can purchase from outside customers and sell. Because further processing cost is equal, but selling price of Y is higher. Resources are interchangeable. You have a maximum 1000 demand, right? You can sell that 1000 demand from Y. Is that clear? So your production should be like this, right? Sales revenue X, make an external, right? Division A වලට යනවා. B එතකොට මේක further process කිරීමක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Y ගේ A ට එනවා 39. Right? Y ගේ B ට එනවා. B ගේ පැත්තෙන් බැලුවොත් B ගේ sales revenue එක වෙන්න ඕනේ 1000 unit of Y at 65. Clear? ඒගොල්ලෝ Y ම 1000ක් හදනවා. 1000ක් හදලා 65 ගානේ විකුණනවා. Right? Clear? Company perspective. මේක රෙවෙනියු එකක් කරන්නත් බෑ. කම්පැනි රෙවෙනියු එක වෙන්නේ ඇත්තටම මේ හරි. මේ කම්පැනි එකේ රෙවෙනියු එක වෙන්නේ මෙතන 65. yes you are correct. මේක ඉන්ටර්නල් රෙවෙනියු එකක්නේ. right? කම්පැනි එකේ රෙවෙනියු එක වෙන්න ඕනේ this plus this the external revenue. total sales revenue එක වෙන්න ඕනේ ওই දෙකේ එකතු 86,000. right? clear? This is for external customers, this is for external customers. right? මේක කම්පැනි රෙවෙනියු එකක් විදිහට එන්නේ නැහැ. right? correct 86,000. variable cost extra division A වල 500 යනවා. division B වල 37,500. right? එතකොට මේ X sale for outside no further processing. variable cost of B කීයක් යනවද? දැන් අපි මෙතන company perspective you are getting the incremental. right? B ට යනවා ඇත්තටම මම stroke එක දාලා තින්නේ අනිත් පැත්ත B වල පෙන්නන්න. right? B ට යනවා 1000 නෙමෙයි. B ට යනවා ඔව් 500 they purchase from outside. Y හදනවනේ එළියෙන් අරගෙන 438 ඒකේ යාලට cost එක. right? මේකේ cost එක දාලා තියෙන්නේ X. හරිනේ? and company point of view, right? Then they purchase another 500. They incur additional 1,000. The entire 1,000 you need additional cost 10. Further proceed. The beta cost 10 over there. Clear? So the cost for B $500 into 38 plus 1,000 into 10, 29,000. දැන් කම්පැනි එකේ cost එක ගන්නකොට අපිට ගන්න වෙනවා මේ ඔක්කොම ටික. මොකද මේ 16,000 එළියට යන revenue එක ඇතුලේ තියෙනවා. මේ 17,500 අපි එළියෙන් ගන්නෙ නෑ. ඒ cost එක කෙලින්ම මෙයාගේ variable cost එක 35 කම්පැනියට cost එක. And this one 62,000. The total variable cost. Right? Total variable cost of division A and division B, it is 62,500. දැන් අපිට contribution එක බලන්න පුළුවන්. මේකේ total sales. නැත්නම් මේක ඇත්තටම company wise බලන එක තේරුමක් නෑ division wise. right? මේක ඕන අපි no කරමු. division wise ඕනේ නෑ අපිට. අපිට ඕනේ total contribution එක company wise because we are trying to maximize the company profit. So company wise we have a 23,500 total contribution. The total revenue, external sales revenue 86,000. Total variable cost 62,500. All these. Fixed cost won't change. So the company's perspective, now you have a profit of 18,500, clear? At current production, the maximum profit, හැබැයි maximum profit එක ආවේ අපේ sales plan එක අනුව. ඒක තමයි වැදගත්. Company perspective, you have to ask division A to sell it externally, right? The entire production of X and 500 unit produce Y, since there is no external market, that anyway transferred to company B, division B. The division B can buy the balance 500 from external customers, external suppliers at 38. And entire 1,000 is further processed. So they can sell the 1,000 for 65,000. Here we ignore the transfer price. මේ transfer price කතාව ignore කරලා මේ යන්නේ. Company perspective මේ බලන්න. මේ විදිහට අපිට බලන්න පුළුවන් අර දෙවෙනි සිනාරියෝ. Where that A is having 500, they produce 500 of Y and 400 of X. And they have a spare capacity 100, right? Limited external demand. මේ වගේමයි. Extra external demand එක limited නේ. මේක අපි තීරණය ගත්තේ company perspective X ගත්තොත් per unit 32 plus 10 42 variable cost, selling price 60, contribution for the company 18. Y variable cost 35 plus 10 45 can sell at 65. So you have 20. Right. එහෙම නැත්නම් y එළියෙන් ගන්නවා නම් 38 වලට ගන්න පුළුවන්. So 38 plus 1048, you can sell at 65. Right? I mean, this dekai, 42. Right. Then external demand එක කොහොමද තියෙන්නේ 100යි. එතකොට කම්පැනියට වඩා ලාභ company perspective මේක බලන්න. Right? X and Y. Variable cost. By A, 32. Variable cost by B, 10. Total variable cost, 42. Total selling price, 60. Contribution, 80. Y ගත්තොත් 8 යනවා හදන්න 35. B ට 10යි. 45යි. selling price 65යි. company එක විදිහට ගත්තොත් Y හදන එක ලාභයි නේ. Right? Company perspective මේක තමයි අපේ rationale එක අපි ගන්න. Right? Variable cost for X variable cost incurred by A32, B10. Total variable cost to the company, 42. Ignore the transfer price here. Right? Company perspective, 42. X can be sold for 60. So the contribution for the company 80. But Y 35 A B10 65 and the company එකට Y හදන එක ලාභයි. Right? ඒ නිසා external demand එක තිබ්බ වෙලාවේදී Y හැදුවා 1000ම හැදුවා B වලින් X 500ක් හදලා එළියට වික්ක 500. Right? Now second scenario, you have a limited demand for X. Only 1000, only 100. 100 නේ දැන් තියෙන්නේ. Right? That ඒගොල්ලන්ට external demand එක 100 කියලා අපි ගත්තේ. Right? Second scenario එක maximum company there is a limited demand for X from external customers. ඕන එක තව add කරන්න maximum 100. And extra capacity available. ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් විදිහට ගත්තොත් 400යි 500යි තියෙන්නේ. Right? X 400ක් හදලා B ට යවනවා. Right? ඒක ඕනෙත් නෑ ඇත්තටම මේ කැලේ ඕනේ නෑ. Right? මේක අමතක කරමුකෝ. දැන් අපිට ඕනේ කම්පැනි එක පැත්තෙන්නේ maximum එක. Right. Now what is the scenario now? company perspective, Y should produce, sorry, B, division B should produce which product? Company එක පැත්තෙන් බැලුවොත් division B එකට කොහොමත් මෙතන තව එකක් එනවා. division B එකට Y externally purchase කරොත් 38ට ගන්න වෙන්නේ. internally purchase කරොත් හැදුවොත් 35යි යන්නේ. right? ඉස්සරලා දුන්නනේ අපිට 35යි 38යි. එතකොට දැන් you can sell the demand 1000 is there. එහෙනම් Y පැත්තෙන් මොකද කරන්න ඕනේ? ඒක ලේසි ඉස්සරලා. You can first think about from the Y perspective. Y should ask division B should ask to produce A the entire 900 unit by Y because their cost is 35, right? And company can incur another the B can incur another 10. Altogether their cost will be 45. They can sell it for 65, 900. Balance 100 B can purchase from outside at 38 and further process and sell. Clear? And a company perspective බලපුවාම දැන් mix එක වෙන්න ඕනේ. Right? Company perspective ගත්තාම මම ඉස්සර වෙලා Y ගේ පැත්ත බලනවා. Y ට sales revenue එක වෙන්න ඕනේ Y එලින්ම 900 at 65. නෙමෙයි 1000 at 65. right? Y මේ 65000ම විකුණනවා. right? Y should produce 1000 at 60 and sell at 65. A, B company. Division B should produce 1000 at 65 and sell. ඒක එහෙමම company එකටත් එනවා. A මොකද කරන්න වෙන්නේ? A දැන් අපිට A ගේ revenue එක අවශ්‍ය නැහැ Y ගේ. right? මම කෙලින්ම ගන්නවා company එකට යනවා. Then company perspective නේ. X produce 900 Y and transfer it to B. right? එතකොට X ගේ cost එක වෙන්නේ 900 හදනවා Y and 100 935 ගානේ හදනවා. හරිනේ. 900 into 35 A හදනවා. 32 ගානේ 100ක් හදනවා. 100 into 30. right? මේ 32 වලට ගත්ත 100 ඒගොල්ලෝ 42 ගානේ විකුණනවා. For 32 ගත්ත එක 42 වලට විකුණනවා. So A can earn a sales revenue of 100 unit of X external sales 4200. A 4200 වලට යාට cost එක යනවා 3200. B ට කෙලින්ම 935 ගානේ හම්බෙනවා. ඉතුරු 138 ගානේ යා ගන්න. අරගෙන 1000ම further process කරනවා 10 ගානේ. right? එයාගේ cost එක B ගේ cost එක එනවා 1000 into 38 external purchase, right? Then the entire 100 into 38 plus 10. මේ බලන්නේ company perspective. Divisional performance වලට නෙමෙයි මේ. Right? You got the point? ඉතින් මේ එතකොට company එකේ cost එක බැලුවොත් you take the company cost 3200 500 48,000. 48,500 තමයි company එකේ total cost එක. Right? So you have a 16,500 total contribution. When you deduct the fixed cost, revenue එක total revenue එක වැරදි. Total revenue එක එන්න ඕනේ 4,200 plus 65,000. දෙකම external. Right? ඒ මෙතන එළියට 100ක්. Now in this scenario, company profit reduced because earlier scenario, X sell 500 unit at 10 contribution. Right? එතන 500ක්ම එළියට විකුණුවා 10 ගාන. ඒ කියන්නේ 42 ගානේ 500ක් විකුණුවා. ඒකේ 10ක් contribution එකක් තිබුණා. දැන් අපිට 100යි විකුණන්න වෙන්නේ. right? අනිත් පැත්තට Y B division B anyway selling 1000 to external product Y. ඒක වෙනසක් උනේ නැහැ. right? නමුත් මෙතන loss of contribution from division A. So that is why the total contribution in this scenario is less. Right? Now can you think about the third scenario? තුන්වෙනි scenario එක. You will be tested very similar question examination context, right? Right. With the unsatisfied demand for X and full capacity of A. A full capacity එක use කරනවා දැන්. බලන්න combination එක බලන්න ඕන company perspective A කීයක් හදනවද X ගෙන් සහ Y ගෙන් B ගැන නම් anyway B should produce Y. right? BX හදලා further process කරන එක B company එක පැත්තෙන් පාඩුයි. right? මොකද B ට එළියෙන් ගන්නත් පුළුවන්. right? A can produce 1000 XOY. B can produce 1000 XOY. Right? There is an unsatisfied external demand for X. extra ඕන තරම් එළියේ demand එකක් තියෙනවා. මේ වෙලාවට company පැත්තේ what is the best option? You should ask division A to produce X and sell it for external customers, entire 1,000. And you can ask company B to buy from outside, entire 1,000, and further process and sell. Right? දැන් එතකොට එළියෙන් ගන්නවා කියන්නේ 38ට ගන්න. If you are producing by the A 35, there is a cost increase by 3 rupee. Right? 3 rupee cost increase there. But on the other hand, X can sell this to external customers for 42 by selling spending variable cost 32. So X can gain an additional contribution of 10 rupee per unit. Division A can get by producing X and sell to outside 10 rupee contribution. By purchasing division B from outside at 38, instead of asked A to produce at 35, there is a loss of contribution or the increase of cost 3 rupee. But company wise, you are getting a 7 rupee gain. Right? Got it? The external 38ට ගන්න එක 35ට වඩා වැඩි. A හදලා දෙනවා නම් 35ට හදලා දෙන්නේ. Externally ගන්න 38. හැබැයි ඒට පුළුවන් A material A වෙනුවට X වලින් 1000ක් හදලා 32 ගන්න 42ට විකුණන්න. Got the point? Right? එතකොට A අනේ සිනාරියෝ එක ඇනලයිස් කරන එක තමයි මේකේ වැදගත්ම දේ. Right? ඒක අඳුර ගන්නවා. To identify that, the rest is easy. ඒක අඳුරගත්තට පස්සේ මේ calculation එක easy. එහෙනම් දැන් අපි කරන්නේ Aට කියනවා කෙලින්ම 1000ක් 32 ගානේ හදලා 42 ගානේ එළියට විකුණන්න කියලා. Variable cost 1000 into 32. 32,000. Y කොහොමත් 1000ක් හදනවා. Right? company එක පැත්තෙන් බැලුවොත් මේක ඕනේ නැහැ. company එක පැත්තෙන් බැලුවොත් මේක මෙතන ඕනේ නැහැ. sales එක. company එක පැත්තෙන් බැලුවොත් total revenue is 42 plus 65. 107. Then Y product Y එක සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම හදන්නේ division B එක හදන්නේ සම්පූර්ණයෙන් 38 ගානේ එළියෙන් ගන්නවා 1000. So it is 38,000. The company එකට cost එක වෙන්නේ totally. Now division A and B independently operate now, right? The total cost is, now they are producing 2,000 units separately. So the total contribution increased to 37,000. You can ignore the fixed cost even, right? The contribution එකකින්ම conclusion එකට එන්න පුළුවන්. නම් fixed cost එක මේකේ තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා අපිට profit එක පෙන්වන්න පුළුවන් by deducting the fixed cost. Right? But what is matter is contribution here. මෙතන fixed cost එක වෙනස් වෙනවා. මට ඒක අමතක වුණා. පළවෙනි සිනාරියෝ එකේදී 500යි ආයතනය හදන්නේ 1000යි. right? දෙවෙනි සිනාරියෝ එකේදී නෑ fixed cost එක වෙනස් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. fixed cost එක per unit වෙනස් වෙන්නේ නැහැ කියන basis එකේ same capacity කියන්නේ. right? නිසා මේක කොහොමද තියෙන්නේ? මේක incremental fixed cost නැහැ කියලා ගන්න. incremental fixed cost එකක් තියෙනවා කිව්වොත් මේක තව complicated කරන්න පුළුවන්. අර cost එක ඇතුලේ දැන් unit 1000ක් නේ fixed cost එක තිබ්බේ. දෙවෙනි scenario එක හැදුවේ unit 1100යි. Right? We got the same fixed cost. දැන් මෙතන company එක ගත්තොත් unit 2000ක් හදනවා. Right? ඇයි? A හදනවා X වලින් 1000. B හදනවා Y වලින් 1000. So unit 2000යි. Right? So still we are taking the same fixed cost. Right? But you can be given some incremental fixed cost. Right? Again, මේ production එක වැඩි වෙනකොට bulk එකක් විදිහට එකවර වැඩි වෙන incremental fixed cost එකක් දෙන්න පුළුවන් range එකට. Right? ඇත්තටම මෙතනදී අපිට fixed cost එක ignore කරලා contribution තනින් decision එකට එන්න පුළුවන්. Right? So you see first scenario the total contribution is මේ contribution එක mainly base කර ගන්නවා 23,500. Second scenario contribution is 20,000. Third scenario 37,000 contribution. Right? More profitable. And we assume the divisional fixed cost won't change. ඒ නිසා ඇත්තටම divisional fixed cost එක ගන්න ඕනේ. හරිය විදිහට ගත්තොත් මේකේ fixed cost එක පෙන්වන්න ඕනේ 2500යි division A වල 2500යි division B වල. right 500 ඒවා පහක් 2500යි 2500යි. ඒත් මේ 2500 2500 කියන fixed cost දෙක වෙනස් වෙන්නේ නැහැ මේ question. y unit පෙන්වුවොත් ඒක පොඩ්ඩක් misleading. Right? මේ විදිහට පෙන්වන්න පුළුවන්. Fixed cost of the division A 2,500, division B 2,500, that won't change. Right? No incremental fixed cost, even the capacity increases. Right? Possible. So we take it that way. Right? So ඔය වගේ ගාණක් එන්න පුළුවන් exam එකේදී අර divisional performance එකයි මේ scenario තුනම නෙමෙයි. right? මේක ඊට වඩා ලකුණු 20ක වගේ කරලා set කරන්න පුළුවන් මේ. right? එක division එක අර වගේම තොරතුරු දීලා what is the best option කියන එක ඊට පස්සේ company perspective. right? එක scenario එකක් වගේ දීලා කොහොමද what is the best option the company perspective and calculate the maximum profit. Right. So then we'll go to the break. After the break, I will take your individual assignment. Right. I have allocated individual topics. Right. I will share it with you. එතකොට එකෙත් මම ඔය groups වලට ටිකක් සමහර group වලට කියන්නේ group එකකටම වගේ සමහර group දෙකකට විතර වගේ එකම topic එක හැබැයි different entities. Right. I will explain of these different topics. The topics හතරක් වගේ තියෙන්නේ. Right? ඒ topic එක යටතේ individually මම company එක නමක් නෙමෙයි දීලා තියෙන්නේ sector එක විදිහට දීලා තියෙනවා. ඒතර ඔයාලට option එකක් තියෙනවා එකකින් තෝරගන්න. උදාහරණ bank කිව්වොත් bank එකක් ගන්න පුළුවන්. right? hotel කිව්වොත් hotel එකක් ගන්න පුළුවන්. manufacturing මොකක් හරි food manufacturing කිව්වොත් food manufacturing එකක් ගන්න. ඒක ඔයාලට පුළුවන්. තමට කැමති company එකක් තෝරගන්න ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. මොකද එක වර්ගයක් එක්කෙනෙක්ට දීලා තියෙන එක topic එකක් යට. right? repeat වෙන්නේ නැහැ. right? ඒතර හැම කෙනෙක්ටම option එකක් තියෙනවා. තමන්ට ලැබිලා තියෙන company එක තෝරගැනීමට sector එකක් දීලා තියෙනවා. ඒකෙන් කැමති company එකක් තෝරගන්න පුළුවන්. තමන්ට අදාළ මාතෘකාවට individual assignment report එක කරන්න ඕනේ ලකුණු 20ක්. right? ටිකක් effort එකක් දරන්න වෙනවා. right? ඊළඟ group presentation and report තියෙනවා. right? ඒක අපි අන්තිමටම තියා ගන්නවා ටිකක් මේකට සති දෙකක් සති තුනක් මන් තිබ්බා. 4th week නේ 7th week මේක ඩිව් වෙනවා. හැබැයි මේක යන අතරේ මම ඊළඟට කියනවා group presentation එක ඒකට ලෑස්ති වෙන්න වෙනවා. ඒක 10th week වත් ගන්න වෙනවා අපිට 11th week තියෙන්නේ. right? මොකද අර 3 ඒවා 15ක් නෙමෙයිනේ යන්නේ. 4 ඒවා 11යි යන්නේ. right? 11th week තියෙන 10th week එකේ presentation එක ගන්නවා. right? මම ඒකත් ලබන සතියේ දානවා. right? දැන් මේ වෙද්දී ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ individual assignment එකේ report එකේ topic allocate කරලා තියෙන. After the break I will explain that. right? You can have a short break and ගෲප් එකේ මම මේක දාලා පෙන්නන්න. ගෲප් එකේ ප්‍රසන්ටේෂන් එකකුත් තියෙනවා. මම ඒක බැලුවා සාමාන්‍යයෙන් රිපෝට් දෙකකින් යන්නේ නැහැ. ඒගොල්ලෝ දාලා තියෙන ගෲප් අසයින්මන්ට් කියලා. පස්සේ ඒකේ ඩීටේල් එකේ තියෙන මම කෝස් අවුට්ලයින් එක පෙන්නන්නම්. ඒකේ තියෙනවා මේ ප්‍රසන්ටේෂන් ප්ලස් රිපෝට් කියලා. රයිට්? මේ මොකද රිපෝට් එකටම සම්පූර්ණ ලකුණු 20ක් දෙන එක ඒක හරි නෑ. අපිට ඕන නම් ඒ ගෲප් රිපෝට් කියන කයල්ල ඕන නම් ඉග්නෝර් කරන්නත් පුළුවන්. ප්‍රසන්ටේෂන් එකක් ගන්න. මම සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මේ කියන්නේ ලකුණු 40ක් දෙන්නේ නෑ පොලි රිපෝට් වලට. එක්කෝ ක්ලාස්රූම් ටෙස්ට් එකක් යන්න ඕනේ. ඉන්ඩිවිජුවල් අපිට ඒක ටෙස්ට් එකකට අපිට යන්න බෑ. මේක සබ්ලයින් එක ඇතුලේ තියෙන්නේ group presentation and report and individual report කියලා. දැන් report එක කියන එක කොහොම marginal තියන්න පුළුවන් අපිට group එකේ. මොකද individual මොකද report එකක් එන නිසා.
Various construct line that 10 rupees additional only to your file.
Which one?
That's the third thing.
The last one.
Yes.
We forget it, no? I'll check it, right? Last calculation only, right? Yeah, I think previous two we added it, no? Yeah, it should be. Right. So those who are joining online also, you can see these topics allocated. Right. So each and every individual is allocated a separate company. But I have not given the name of company, I have given you a sector. So you have the freedom to select a company. දැන් උදාහරණයකට manufacturing of garment කිව්වම garment manufacture කරන factory එකක් මොකක් හරි base කරගන්න පුළුවන් Tamanට එක්ක public company එකක් you can use, right? උදාහරණ ගත්තොත් public companies are some listed garment factories are there. Or you can even take a private company where you think that you can have some information, right? Pricing information also sensitive, right? But you can use this some internet sources and identify these different industries, how they use the pricing, what type of strategy they use, right? Then the balance scorecard, second one, BAC means balance scorecard. Then environmental management accounting, EMA, environmental management accounting. ABC stand for activity based costing. So broadly ගත්තොත් topics 4යි තියෙන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ට. Pricing strategy, balance scorecard, environmental management accounting and activity based costing. So first thing, you should identify a company, right? Area for the allocated industry. Right. So I will brief you basically what is expected from each group. අපි ගත්තොත් බලන්න මේ pricing strategy Tamanta topic එක pricing ලැබිච්ච හැමෝට අතුසස් pricing, right? So we have few here, right? So you can go ahead with the course outline related to the pricing. You can use it. Right. So one aspect is you can identify the type of competition in the particular industry, particular entity you select. You know, there are 4 types of competition we identified in economics: perfect competition, monopolistic competition, monopoly, oligopoly, right? So you can refer to that, to the allocated company, right? අතන ඔයාලට pricing strategy එකට අපි හිතමු, right? Pricing strategy එක garment factory එකක්, beverage manufacturing එකක්, import and distribution, education, hospital. ඒ තමන් ගන්න ආයතනයේ basically ඔයාලට අඳුන ගන්න පුළුවන් මේ economic structure එකේ මොනකටද වැටෙන්නේ. Real you may find monopoly and oligopoly, right? අඩුයිනේ ඒවා. සමහර ඒවා තියෙන oligopoly කීපයක් ඉන්න ආයතන, right? Monopoly very rare, only one company. Perfect competition සමහර වෙලාවට highly competitive එකක් හුඟක් අඩු හුඟක් වෙලාවට එන්නේ oligopoly and monopolistic competition කියන එක තමයි එන්නේ, right? Monopolistic competition and oligopoly. Monopolistic competition කියන්නේ ආයතන ගොඩක් තියෙනවා compete කරන. Oligopoly කියන්නේ ආයතන කීපයක් compete කරන. ඉන්ඩස්ට්‍රි එකේ කොච්චර competition. ඒතර ඒකෙන් අඳුර ගන්න පුළුවන් එකක්. Then you can link with the price elasticity of demand based on the product or service. You learn something called price elasticity of demand. When the price change, you know that there's a negative relationship, inverse relationship between price and quantity demand. That when the price goes up, quantity demand decreases. The elasticity means what percentage, right? So you have learned these things in your economic subject, right? So some product, when the price increase by 10%, quantity demanded may reduce by 20%. So price elasticity 2, more than 1. So we call it elastic demand, right? So pricing strategy of elastic demand different. Because in elastic demand, you better try to reduce the price, because then the quantity demanded increase further, right, by higher percent. On the other hand, inelastic demand, that means when the price increase by even 25%, demand will reduce only by 10% or 5%, relatively less, right? So elasticity is less than 1, right? So that is price elasticity. So you can link the elasticity with the company, right? What type of product that the allocated product or service the allocated company is providing. So what type of elasticity, price elasticity can be applicable for the related entity. Then the manufacturing of garment කිව්වහම ආයතනයේ ස්වභාවයම වෙනස් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. garment items උත් තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. මොන වගේ garments හදන්නේ කියන එක මත තමයි elasticity එක දෙන්නේ. දැන් උදාහරණ luxury special type of brand වෙන්න පුළුවන්. large quantity small, right, the basic garment items වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒතකොට ඒකත් එක තමයි ඔයාලා elasticity එක බලන්න වෙන්නේ. beverage ගත්තාම මොන වගේ company එකක්ද, right, but you are selecting, right? So this will be all the groups, all the individuals, you have to start with a brief introduction about the company, their product and service, right? ඔයාලා ගන්න මොන වගේ ආයතනයක්ද කියන එක පැහැදිලිව ගන්න ඕනේ, right? ඒක මත තමයි අනිත් දේවල් තීරණය වෙන්නේ. So you better explain it at the beginning, right? I will have a separate guideline and that also will be uploaded, right? So ඔය aspect කතා කරන්න පුළුවන්. Then you can discuss about these different pricing strategies like market penetration, market skimming, right? Premium pricing, loss leader. You can have a brief theory explanation and what type of strategy your company is using, right? මේ වගේ මොනවා හරි පාවිච්චි කරනවා වෙන්න පුළුවන්. Not for all, but even for some product range, right? So you should explain about that, right? ඔය ටික තමයි කරන්න තියෙන්නේ, right? දැන් මේ 1 2 3 කියන points තුන තියෙන කාරණා you have to relate with the allocated the selected company. So I am not allocating specific company, so you have the freedom. මේකට ගැලපෙන company එකක් අඳුන ගන්න ඕනේ. ඉස්සර වෙලා ඔයාලට ඒ company එක explain කරන්න ඕනේ. ඔයාලා ගන්න මෙන්න මේ company එක කියන එක. ඊට පස්සේ ඒකේ product එක service එක ගැන විස්තර කරන්න ඕනේ, right? මොකද මේ දැන් garment කිව්වහම ඒකේ වර්ග තියෙනවා. beverage කිව්වහම තියෙනවා. import කිව්වහම මොකක් හරි product එකක්. education කිව්වහම මොන විදිහේ education එකක්, right? SAP campus එක ගත්තොත් education institute එක, right? තව වෙන private university එකක් ගන්න පුළුවන්, right? නැත්නම් professional education වලට classes කරන තැනක් ගන්න පුළුවන්, right? ඒ වගේ A level class එකක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්, whatever, right? මොන එකක් ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඊළඟ manufacturing of foods, automobile ගත්තාම car manufacturing මේවා international එකක් ගත්තත් කමක් නැහැ. හැබැයි you have to explain it, right? automobile වගේ නම් එහෙම ගන්න පුළුවන්, right? You have preferred to use the Sri Lankan company, right? සමහර ඒවට well known එකක් හොයාගන්න පුළුවන්, right? එතකොට ඒක explain කරන්න වෙනවා. international නම් well known brand එක උදාහරණ ගත්තොත් automobile වල Toyota හරි Honda හරි වගේ එකක් ගත්තට ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ, right? Right. Yes.
Sir, can you share the screen and camera? We can see.
Sorry. So this is the topic allocated. So the first we take the now this is already there in the LMS, right? So you can download it. So you can see what is the topic allocated. So the 8 students are allocated application of pricing strategy. Then එතන එක group එකකට තමයි apply කරේ. හැබැයි individually you have to attend because you are allocated separate sector. So you have to select one company from that. Then application of balance scorecard එක group දෙකකටම තියෙනවා. balance scorecard මොකක් කියලාට industry specific. industry එක අනුව වෙනස් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. එතනත් වෙන වෙනම industry අරගෙන තියෙනවා bank, hotel, retail, manufacturing of garment, manufacturing of beverage, import and distribution, insurance, education, hospital, printing, plantation, manufacturing, automobile, right? Printing ගත්තත් listed companies උත් තියෙනවා. මේ හැම එකම වගේ listed companies තියෙනවා. ඔයගලන්ට ගිහිල්ලා බලන්න පුළුවන්. නැත්නම් ඔයාලා company එකත් ඔයාලා website එකට ගිහිල්ලා සමහර තොරතුරු ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ කියනකොට reports තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. Right? So BSC means the balance scorecard. Right. One by one තියෙන නිසා I will have a separate description to the LMS, right? What is mean by BSC, balance scorecard. So it's come to the balance scorecard. Here we have this the balance scorecard. So the balance scorecard basically measures its focus on the different perspectives, 4 perspectives, right? Traditional performance measurement focuses only on financial perspective. Here it focuses on financial, customer, internal business processes, learning and growth. So each and every one, you can have your own explanation of theory of the balance scorecard, right? Yam theory part එකක් company එක introduce කරන්න පුළුවන් තමන්ගේ. ඊට පස්සේ balance scorecard එකේ theory එක කතා කරන්න පුළුවන්. Then you have to apply the balance scorecard for the selected entity. The balance scorecard apply කරනකොට ඒකේ අඳුන ගන්න ඕනේ different measurements, objectives මොනවද, KPIs, right? What are the key performance indicators, right? What are the critical success factors and how you are going to measure them, goals and measurements of each perspective, right? ඒක company එකක් base කරගෙන, right? එතකොට ඒකට තමන්ට මේ allocate කරපු company එක පාවිච්චි කරන්න වෙනවා. Right? Can be a bank, hotel, retail, garment, beverage, import, insurance, education, hospital, printing, plantation, and food manufacturing, and automobile. Right? You should give some introduction about the entity. Then the theory part of the balance scorecard. Then the application of balance scorecard, right? For a given entity. ඒකේ තියෙන challenges, advantages වගේ දේවල්, ඒගොල්ලෝ අඳුරගත්ත benefits වගේ දේවල්. So ideally, you can select a company from listed company from stock exchange or private company. If you can interview some of these management people, you can get some insight for that. That would be a value addition. You know, මොනවා හරි එහෙම යම් විදියට input එකක් අරගෙන ඒක දාන්න පුළුවන් නම් study එකට ඒක recognize කරනවා marking කරනදී, right? ලකුණු 20ක් තියෙන නිසා ඒ නිසා තමන් තෝරගන්න කම්පැනි එකට යම් access එකක් හදා ගන්න පුළුවන් නම් ඒකත් හොඳයි. සමහර ඒවා web එකෙන්ම ඔයගලන්ට ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙයි, right? ඒක නිසා carefully මේක decide කරන්න. During this week you better select a company. මොකද ඔයාලට allocate කරලා තියෙන sector එක. යටතේ තමන්ට ගැලපෙන මේකට තොරතුරු හොයාගන්න එක ඉස්සරලා කරන්න. Right? So each perspective, right? So you have this financial perspective, කිව්වම financial measures, right? Economic aspect එක. Then the customer perspective, you have to look at the customer satisfaction, how the customer generate profit, the market share, right? Those perspectives. So product, service, attribute, relationship, reputation. Right? The internal business process perspective, right? The internal business processes create value to the customers. Innovations, operations, after sales services, right? The customer need identify karla, customer satisfy කිරීම දක්වා මේ ක්‍රියාවලිය. Right. Then learning and growth. The employee skills, information system, organizational processes. මේ වගේ කොහොමද learning create කරන්න employees වගේ skill වැඩි කරන්න. මේක examples දාලා තියෙනවා කොහොමද measure කරන්න කියන areas, measurement area තියෙන්නේ. Right? Information system සම්බන්ධ. Right? So you can use these also. Right. That's about the balance scorecard. The balance scorecard well known, right? මේක ඔයගොල්ලෝ වෙන මීට කලින් courses වලත් ඉගෙනගෙන ඇති යම් තාක් දුරට balance scorecard, right? Not a totally new thing, right? Then we have EMA, environmental management accounting. Right? Environmental management accounting, application of environmental management accounting. Environmental management accounting practices media. Right? Application of environmental management accounting means environmental management accounting practices. EMA allocate right? EMA, right. The make it and you can take from the annual report, right? Make discussion එකකින් වැඩිපුර දේවල් ගන්න පුළුවන් management එකත් එක්ක කතා කරපුවාම ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ තියෙන environmental management accounting practices මොනවද, right? ඒගොල්ලන්ට ඒ වගේ තියෙන challenges මොනවද, ඇයි ඒගොල්ලෝ ඒව කරන්නේ, ඒ වගේ. The environmental management accounting, that is, again we can look at it here. So here you find application of environmental management accounting for pricing, budgeting, investment decision. Popular contributed framework of environmental management accounting. Definition of environmental cost, their benefit, tools, right? Make a guide, right? Environmental management accounting, you may find so many areas, right? මම මේ හැම ටොපික් එකකටම අදාළ පොඩි මැටීරියල් එකකුත් LMS එකට දානවා. මම දැන් balance scorecard එකක් දැම්මම, right? ඒක මේ SAP එකේම course එකට පාවිච්චි කරපු එක. අනිත් ඒවාටත් next week ඇතුලේ දානවා, right? ඒක ඔයගලන්ට පොඩි guide එකක් විදිහට පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන්, right? Theory එක පැත්තට support, but you have to search, right? You have to search from the internet, come up with. So you can have introduction about what is environmental management account, right? හැබැයි හැමෝගෙම මම structure එක දානවා පටන් ගන්න වෙන්නේ assignment එක company introduction, right? ඊට පස්සේ තමයි දෙවෙනි එක තමයි theory එක තමන්ට දීලා තියෙන topic එකේ introduction එක. තුන්වෙනි part එක තමයි මේක application එක link කරන්නේ, right? ඒක තමයි ලොකු part එක වෙන්නේ, right? So as an individual assignment, the body could be 10 to 15 pages. the body of the report, right? So that you can have appendix and annexures, right? This is excluding the cover page and right. You may have some content pages, right? All that references, all that body of the report should be minimum 10, and you can have around 15. කාට හරි සමහර වෙලාවට පොඩ්ඩක් එකක් දෙකක් හිමි වුණාට කමක් නැහැ, right? But minimum 10, we keep it 10 to 15 normal individual report, right? 20 marks, so that you take it serious, right? Last group එකට මම වෙනම theory material එකක් දාන්නේ නැහැ. මොකද activity based costing අපි කතා කරලා තියෙනවා, right? lecture material එක තියෙනවා, right? ඒකේ details වලට ගන්න පුළුවන්. That is allocated for two groups. ABC means activity based costing. So application of activity based costing hotel. එතනදී ඔයාලට මුලින්ම ඔයාලා තෝරගත්ත entity එක ගැන description එකක් දෙන්න ඕනේ. ඊළඟට activity based costing ගැන, right? එකම එක වෙන්න බෑ, right? තමන් ලියන්න, right? You can use different sources, right? මොකද එකම copy කරොත් දැන් එකම topic එකේ theory part එක එකම copy කරන්න බෑ, right? So sometimes happen in this way. Now, two students are not copying each other, but they are copying it from some different sources and they are using as it is. So when it's come to evaluation, we see, right, okay, two students, same paragraph. When we search, they have not copied each other, but they have referred from same sources. So you can refer to source, but you can't just reproduce it. You can't just copy and paste it, right? එහෙම වුණොත් assignment එක reject වෙන්න පුළුවන්, right? අනිත් එක මට සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මේ එහෙම assignment බලද්දී කොහොම ලේසියෙන් මතකින්. ඒ කියන්නේ මේක කියවද්දී මේක මේ විදිහටම කලින් තිබුණා කියලා. එහෙමම දැන් මෙහෙ නෙමෙයි. දැන් අපේ internal batch එක ගත්තොත් ජවහර්ලාල් යුනිවර්සිටි එකේ ළමයි 200ක් විතර ඉන්නේ, right? එතකොට අපි ඔය සමහර ගන්න මනෝතේ දැන් එක සැරයක් internship. I am the final year coordinator. ඒගොල්ලන්ට අපි දෙනවා reflective journal එක. well දෙයක් නේ. තමන්ගේ reflection. කෙනෙක් තව එක්කෙනෙක්ගේ එකක් එහෙම මොකක්ද කරන්නේ? reflection. ඒ දෙසිය බලද්දිත් මට ඔක අහුණා. right? කියන්නේ ඒ කියලා තියෙන එක මොකද reflection එක එකම දේ වෙන්න බෑනේ. You have some areas to reflect, right? What is the best exposure, best learning experience? Right? So we start to cut it junior selectors search right? Subject suspense convocation, right? Pure copy, 100% copy කරන්න. ඔයාලගේ report එක එක්කෙනෙක් එකක් තව එක්කෙනෙක් එකක් 100% match වෙන්න බෑ. විශේෂයෙන් දැන් theory part එකේ තමයි ඔක වෙන්නේ. Theory, yes, same content. Because when one explain activity based costing theory, the other one also explain activity based costing theory, but it should not be the same wording, right? Not the point. This can happen. You search from the internet, you take some paragraph as it is, you copy it, the other one also copy the same thing. But you can't do that. Should be your writing, your wording. Right? අපි ලකුණු 20ක් දෙනවනේ. 20ක් කියන්නේ ලොකු weight එකක් නේ. මේක final exam එකේම ලකුණු 20ක් වෙනවා. 100 20කුත් නෙමෙයි කියන්නේ. දැන් paper එකට 100ට අපි 20 ප්‍රශ්න පහක් හැදුවොත් ඒකයි convert වෙනවා 60ට. Right? The paper 100 marks allocated for the final examination. 20 mark question effectively count for 12 no? Because it is converted into 60. But this 40 from CA, it is 20 marks for individual assignment. It is 20 out of 100 for your final result. So that should be significant. So you should put some reasonable effort for it. Right? So all the topics Basically, you are expected to give a brief introduction of a company, right? And the other thing is another one. Now we have only 4 areas. So you should now if you are allocated the manufacturing of garment, you should have a kind of negotiation with other students. The different topic allocated, it should not be the same company, right? මොකද එහෙම වුණොත් අර company introduction එක සමාන වෙනවා. දැන් උදාහරණයකට මේකේ garments 4ක් ගැන එයි. Beverage manufacturing companies 4ක් එයි. right? ඊට පස්සේ beverage කිව්වහම මේක beverage including එතන මේක liquor උනත් ගන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් ලංකාවේ listed companies තියෙනවා beer companies දෙකක් තියෙනවා, distilleries තියෙනවා, right? ඊට පස්සේ Ceylon cold stores තියෙනවා, right? ඊට පස්සේ Pepsi Cola වගේ තව වෙන company එකක් ගන්න පුළුවන්, right? Mac වගේ හදන එකක් ගන්න පුළුවන්. beverage ගහම මම broadly තියලා තියෙන්නේ, right? Any kind of beverage including liquor, right? මම ඕන එකක් දාන්න. නැත්නම් බැලුමට import and distribution. So there are four individuals. ඔයාලා 4 දෙනා අතර පොඩි discussion එකක් තියාගන්නවා, right? මම මේ company එක ගත්තා, ඒක ගන්න එපා. Right? I think what I can do, I will share a Google link, right? So then you can upload it, no? Right? එහෙම නැත්නම් I think okay, you better දැන් Google link එක මම දැම්මොත් ඒකත් සමහරට තව කෙනෙක් එකක් වෙන්න තව කෙනෙක්ට වෙනස් කරන්නත් පුළුවන්. So I will give the responsibility to you, right? මම මේක දාලා තියෙනවානේ LMS එක. ඔයගොල්ලෝ මේක download කරගෙන මේකේ තමන්ගේ company එක මම එකක් දාලා තියන්න. company එක දාන්න where's the team group representative? We have a group leader, class monitor, batch representative. Anyone here? Right. එතකොට ඔයාට Excel එකක් දාලා, right? අනිත් අයට කියන්න ඔයාට දෙන්න කියලා. එතකොට මට ඒක අපි ගමු next week එක ඉවර වෙන්නේ company. එතකොට අපි දන්නවා, right? The companies are not repeating. Right? Got it? 4යිනේ තියෙන්නේ. group 4යි තියෙන්නේ. කියන්නේ pricing strategy වලට පාවිච්චි කරන garment එක balance scorecard එකට ගන්න බෑ. company. right? ඊට පස්සේ ඒකම environmental management accounting වලට ගන්න බෑ. right? ඒකම activity based costing වලට ගන්න බෑ. සමහර ඒ වගේ වැඩිපුර තියෙනවා. උදාහරණ environmental management accounting වලටයි මේ සමහර ඒවා repeat වෙන්නේ නැහැ. දෙකක් වගේ තියෙනවා. පරිම 4යි තියෙන්නේ. right? පරිම 4 දෙනයි එතකොට. right? So make sure that we have around 47 students. So you are doing it from 47 and 46 students. So make sure that you are doing the separate company, 46 companies. Right? That's it. මේක මට තව කරන්න තිබුණා company එකක් කෙලින්ම දෙන එක. හැබැයි මම ඔයගලන්ට පොඩි freedom එකක් තිබ්බා. මේක ඇතුලේ ඔයාලට පා ගන්න. right? සමහර වෙලාවට අපි කෙලින්ම company එක listed company එක නමක් දෙනවා. එතකොට ඒකම financial reporting හරි financial analysis වගේ එකකදී සමහරට assignment එකට කෙලින්ම දෙනවා company individual allocate කරනවා. You have to download that report and go ahead with that. right? මම මේකෙදි පොඩි freedom එකක් දීලා තියෙනවා. ඒකට ඒ අතරේ ඔයාලට තෝරගන්න පුළුවන්. Okay, any further questions? Right. So then I will take this we'll have a discussion of this relevant cost and short-term decisions, right? So we'll get the material, but we can have the discussion of this relevant cost, right? What is mean by relevant cost? Yes, the relevant cost. Relevant cost for decision making, right? So we have already considered this concept when it's come to this performance evaluation also. There are decision making. There we take when you are evaluating different performance of different managers of different responsibility centers, we consider only the relevant cost, controllable cost for that particular manager, right? So the broadly, the meaning of relevant cost means whether that cost is relevant for a particular decision making, whether you should take them into consideration for the decision making. So we can look at this relevant cost in different perspectives, right? Now, initially, for the short-term decision making, most of the fixed cost may not be relevant, and the variable cost become the relevant cost. Why? Right. So for the short-term decision making, most of fixed cost, and generally fixed cost is not a relevant cost for short-term decision making. And only variable cost become relevant. Short-term decision making, relevant cost, variable cost. Fixed cost is not relevant. Why is that? Whether we take a particular decision or not, fixed cost is not going to change, right? Now that is why in the previous activity we discussed when you are finding the profit, right? So which action to increase the profit of a division or increase the profit of company, right? So since we calculate the profit, we deduct the fixed cost. But in all these scenarios, fixed cost is totally irrelevant. The decision making you can take from the contribution, because fixed cost is remain constant over the short period, right? So this is because fixed cost remains constant over the short run. Hence, for most of short-term decision making, only contribution is considered. Not the profit. Right, these things you are familiar, right? CVP කතා කරද්දී. So you decide it based on contribution, because contribution you take the sales revenue and variable cost. You take the total profit, you have deduct the fixed cost also. But since the fixed cost is remain constant over the short run, you can take the decision by looking at the contribution. Right. But here I use the word generally, because there can be exception. In certain circumstances, if the fixed cost also change by, there is an incremental fixed cost of a decision, that incremental fixed cost should take into consideration. Fixed and variable means that which vary with the output, no? Right? Now, for an example, you are planning to purchase machine A and machine B, right? If you purchase machine A, annual maintenance cost is 200,000. Machine B, annual maintenance cost is 100,000, which is fixed. But when you are deciding which machine to be purchased, you have to take into consideration these two costs. So which vary. Even a fixed cost which vary among the alternatives become relevant. You got the point? Now, short run decision making for manufacturing business or something like that, you can consider sales, variable cost contribution likewise. Right? But when it's come to decision making, right? Now you are planning to recruit some employee, right? These employee are paid monthly salary, right? So for a particular decision, you need 5 employees. For another decision, you need 7 employees, or both 5 employees, but different skill levels. Their fixed salary vary. So then their salary is fixed, but different among the two alternatives. Even a fixed cost which is different among any cost which is different among two alternatives become relevant for the decision. Right. The next point, we'll take any cost which differ among two alternatives. Become relevance for decision making. Even though it is a fixed cost. Right? Can be fixed, but still it become relevant because it vary among the two alternatives. Hence, any cost which do not differ do not vary among two alternatives. Become an irrelevant. Right? There are two alternatives, the same cost. Right? Like now you want to purchase for the manufacturing business, right? If you now you are getting two short-term kind of okay, simple one, right? You are evaluating two machineries, right? So whatever the machine you purchase, you have to transport it to your business. It will cost you 100,000 rupees, plant A or plant B. So when you are comparing the two alternatives, this transportation cost, you can ignore, it's not relevant. Right? For the comparison purpose, not relevant. Because it's not vary among the two alternatives. Right? Same. Then we have already discussed cost, which are controllable to a particular level of management, become relevant. Cost for the performance evaluation. Right? So we already discussed this. The cost that can be controlled by a particular manager, that is relevant. Hence, the uncontrollable costs are irrelevant. If you cannot control that particular cost, right, that is irrelevant in your decision making. Right? So if you can't control it, right? So you can't do anything regarding that. Right? So when you are evaluating the performance, we discussed last week, two different responsibility centers, two branches. The branch rent, sales outlet rent, right? If it is determined by the head office, right? Head office already rent out the building and given, the manager has no authority on that. So that should not be considered in evaluating the performance of branch manager. Then any other aspect that may come to relevant cost? You may have heard the concept sunk cost. What is sunk? Sunk cost. The cost which is already incurred and cannot change by a future decision. Sunk cost. Cost already incurred and cannot change by future decision, sunk cost, which is relevant in decision making. Right? Now you have purchased raw material, right? 100 rupee per kilogram. Now the market price has reduced. Now in the market, it is sold only for 60. Right? So you should not take a decision, okay, I spent for 100. Now it is 60. So I am not selling it for 60. So that is a wrong way. Right? Now people do this sunk cost. They take it as relevant. Right? So for an example, so I know sometimes people purchase a motor vehicle for 10 million. Right? That is the market price at that time. The vehicle market price increase and decrease. So price is dropped now. Now in the market, so this vehicle can be sold only for 8 million. And person is getting an offer for 8.5 million. But you are not selling it because I spent 10 million. Now, if I am selling it for 8.5 million, I have a loss of 1.5. But in reality, if the market price, normally you can sell it for 8 million. If you are getting offer for 8.5 million, right? So you have a gain there. But if you take that sunk cost into consideration, your decision is wrong. So sunk cost is always irrelevant in decision making, but people take into consideration that. This is a very important concept in your day-to-day life also. What you have already spent, even the time, cost, anything, right? It is irrelevant. You have to take the decision from this point onward, right? Now, sometimes some people, right? They start a particular business or something, right? You have spent some money, right? Now the business starting loss making. So you can keep the business if you have a strategic plan, you can convert that into profitable from the future. But if you take the decision, I have already invested 5 million for this, right? So now I have lose the 5 million. Somehow I want to recover that. That is sunk. That is gone. That is not going to change by the future decision. Even when you are considering a career path sometimes, right? In your life. So I have met some students, right? So they change their career path, totally ignoring the sunk cost. That is the correct way. Right? Some students, they start advanced level with some particular stream. They go for classes, study for 1 year. After that, they realize, okay, if I continue the remaining 1 year also, I will not be able to get the good result. Right? So if that is the case, you should stop at that point and take your decision. So if you take, okay, I have already spent 1 year, right? So that 1 year that you have spent, your time, money, effort, everything sunk. Right? But you have got some knowledge with that. If you can improve it and from the same stream, you can do it. Yes, okay. But your decision point, if you are taking decision today, should be based on future cost and future benefits, not the past. Right? So sunk cost is something highly misunderstood concept. It should not take into decision making. People consider it. People consider it. Right? මට ඔබ කියද්දි මම හැමදාම ගන්න එක්සැම්පල් එකක් තියෙනවා මේ යුනිවර්සිටි එකේ ඉගෙන ගන්න කාලේ. කාලේ නිව් ඉයර් එකට දැන් කොහමද යුනිවර්සිටි එකේ සමහර එක්සෑම්ස් තියෙනවා ඒප්‍රිල් 10th විතර වෙනකන් සෙමෙස්ටර් එක ගිහිල්ලා right ඒප්‍රිල් 11th 12th කිට්ටු වෙන්න තමයි දැන් කොහමරි ගෙදර යන්න හම්බෙන්නේ. ඒකට ඒ දවස්වල පෙටා වල සාමාන්‍ය අප්‍රේල් 11 වගේ කියන්නේ දුම පොලිමක් තියෙනවා. right? එතකොට දැන් සමහර ළමයි දැන් අපි යනකොට මම මතකයි මම හිතාව යාළුවෝ අපි කතා කරා දැන් අපි එක අවුරුද්දක එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් කරා ඊට පස්සේ ඊළඟ කියන්නේ අපි උදේ 5ට ගියොත් 11ට විතර බස් එකක් ගන්නවා. right? මෙහෙන් 5ට ගිහලා 11ට පිටත් වෙන බස් එකේ යනවා. You wait 6 hours to travel 3 hours. Get a seat. Right? එහෙම ඊට පස්සේ අපි ඕකත් දන්න නිසා අපි හිතුවා right. පාන්දර යන්න හැටි දවල්ලා යනවා කියලා. අපි යනකොට දැන් ඉන්නවා අපේ යාළුවෝ ඉන්නවා. They were in the queue around 4.5 hours. So we had to travel around 3 hours. So they are waiting. So then we invite them. Okay, there's a bus, right? So no seat, but you get now, right? So you can go by 2.5 hours or 3 hours maximum. But the answer is no, that we have wait here now 4.5 hours. Right? So we don't. So that is what you wait is gone. Right? ඒ එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් ඒගොල්ලෝ තමයි පැයක හමාරක් විතර ඉඳලා right පැය 6කට විතර පස්සේ බස් එකට නැගලා එනවා right එතකොට අපි ඒ වෙලාවේ ගියාම අපිට සාමාන්‍යයෙන් වඩා පැය දෙකකට විතර කලින් එකම දුර යන්න පුළුවන් so that this is just a traveling but in your life also right in your career right you see the people change in the career right take some decisions on the decision point considering the future cost and future revenue. Sunk should not be considered at all, right? So remember that sunk cost, which is cost already incurred and cannot be reversed by a future decision. Is an irrelevant cost. Should not be considered. For decision making. Now, traditionally, Sri Lankan people, when it's come to election voting also, they take the decision based on sunk. It's our entire generation, fathers, grandfathers, everyone vote for this party, that is sunk, no? Right? So they go for the same, right? So that is sunk, right? You take the decision based on that, right? If you, when it's come to a election, you should vote by considering what are the future actions that this particular politicians is going to take, what type of strategy they have, what type of vision they have, right? Are they going to keep their promises? What is our past experience you can take into consideration? This is what it says sunk, the cost you incurred, right? The cost on not only financial terms, right? Even time spent, effort you incur, right? So that is why certain projects, businesses abandon, right? They give up the project. After spending so much of money, once they identify that it will not generate economic benefit, right? Some research and development, you may incur huge amount of money, right? You may spend 100 million rupees, but at a particular point you identify that this project will not generate benefit. So when you stop it today, you will not further spend it, right? So that is a benefit. Sunk cost is irrelevant. So decision making, we should ignore the sunk, right? Sunk cost. Then what about opportunity cost? You heard the word opportunity cost. You learned this concept in economics. What is meant by opportunity cost? When you are selecting one alternative, there is another, so many alternatives you are giving up. So what is the value of the next best alternative that you are giving up, right? In a business, you consider financial terms. Now, that is what we considered in this pricing decision, right? Transfer pricing decision. You can sell it for the external customer at that particular price, right? So if you are transferring it internally, there is a contribution we are losing, that is opportunity cost. So we take that into consideration. So opportunity cost, the value of next best alternative given up is a relevant cost. And should be considered. In decision making. Now, this is another thing. Some people, when they are taking the decision, they ignore the opportunity cost. There is an opportunity cost of every action we take because time has opportunity cost. Right? Time has opportunity cost. The opportunity cost can be financial terms, even satisfaction perspective, right? Even now, for example, when you are coming for the weekend lecture, it's opportunity cost. You can stay at home and just watch a movie, right? So that you are giving up that. Why you are giving up that? Because attending the lecture, that getting this knowledge, that is important to achieve your objective. So when you consider the opportunity cost, you will get the maximum use out of the resources. Right? So that when you know that you are coming for the lecture, by sacrificing the time that you could have used for something else. So you try to get the maximum advantage during the period you stay in the class. Right? So always take that. These 2 points are very important for your life, right? The decision making. Sunk cost irrelevant. Opportunity cost take into consideration. Now, some people resign from a job, right, where you are earning some income and start a business. Okay. But you should have a plan because always when you are taking a risk, that's good, right? Sri Lankan people are reluctant to most of the time, right? That is good way that you have to take a risk but you have to calculate the opportunity cost, right? It's the salary that you are earning, you are giving up. So you are spending your effort, right? I know some people, right? They start their own business, right? They work like 20 hours per day, right? They work all the entire week, right? 7 days, 365 days likewise. And they earn more than what they earn from their previous employment, but effectively they could have earned something similar, right? If they committed that well, even for the employment, right? You can have some overtime or some other things, right? But you are not doing that because they ignore the opportunity cost. People ignore about their commitment, their salary, their time, right? This opportunity cost always. Even the money you spend, right? When you are investing money, there's opportunity cost. That you learn in. That's why we take the cost of capital, right? In finance, we take the cost of capital, right? In the NPV, we take the cost of capital out, right? So that is the real value addition. So opportunity cost is always a relevant cost in decision making. That we have to take into mind, right? So the main points I highlighted here, which is important for our next topic. Generally, fixed cost in the short term decision making, fixed cost is not relevant. Only the variable cost is relevant because fixed costs remain constant, which is not going to change by a decision. However, if you take two alternatives, and if the costs differ among two alternatives, it becomes relevant irrespective of whether variable or fixed. Even a fixed cost can be relevant cost if it vary among two alternatives. So we are taking the decision of selecting one of two alternatives. When controllable and uncontrollable cost, the controllable cost is the cost that only relevant, especially when you are when it's come performance evaluation, right? We have already discussed that. And finally, some cost, the cost already incurred cannot be changed. Now, sometimes cost incurred can be reversed. That is not sunk, right? You have, for example, we have imported some material. The material are not matched with the specification, right? You can return, can reject it. Right? That is not something. But we are telling that already incurred and cannot be reversed by the future decision. Whether you are going to take a particular decision or not, the cost remains. So then that is the opportunity cost is a relevant cost for the decision making, which is the value of the next best alternative give up when you are selecting one particular alternative. So that includes the opportunity cost of money, right? Opportunity cost of money, financial resources. The opportunity cost of the human, the labor, human capital, right? The time has opportunity cost, right? All those aspects should take into consideration, right? So our next topic, next week, I'm taking this short-term decision making that will count for another 10 marks, right? Relevant costing and short-term decision making. Advanced aspects or basic contribution. I'm not going to explain this main concept, right? The basic contribution CVP analysis. So I hope that you are familiar with that break-even point, margin of safety. අපි ඒක decision making part එකට යනවා. මම එක slide එකක් දාන්නම් ඔය පොඩි activity එකකින් ඒක මතක් කරගන්න, but basically we are moving to the decision making part because that basic CVP you covered in basic management courses. The make exemption batch එක නිසා ඔයගොල්ලෝ මේක professional වලදී හරි cover කරලා තියෙන්නේ. Direct course යන්නේ නැති වුණා, right? So I will have 1 or 2 slides just to cover up that basic CVP part, but mainly focusing on the decision making part. And this මේක මම අප්ලෝඩ් කරපු එක මම පොඩ්ඩක් වෙනස් කරලා ආයෙ අප්ලෝඩ් කරන්න ඕන මේකම කම්පැනි එකත් දාන්න ඉඩ තියලා. ඒතකොට ඒක අප්ලෝඩ් කරලා ක්ලාස් මොනිටර් පුළුවන් ඒක ෂෙයා කරගන්න කට්ටියත් එක්ක. ඒතකොට එයාලට පුළුවන් ඒක ෆිල් කරගෙන right? ඒක ඔයගොල්ලෝ Google form එකකට දාගෙන හරි කමක් නැහැ, right? So finally you can upload it, right? So you can give me the update by next week, right? So with that, I'll wind up today's session so you can have the lunch break.